What if the life you are living right now is nothing more than a fragile illusion, a repeating loop designed to keep you asleep? What if every morning you wake up, the walls around you close in tighter, locking you inside a story that was never truly yours? And what if, without even knowing it, your attention, your focus, your very breath is the key that decides whether you remain trapped or finally break free? This moment is not infinite. Time is slipping. Every second you delay, the door narrows, and the chance to step into a different reality becomes smaller, rarer, more elusive. Right now, the universe bends around your awareness, waiting for a signal, waiting for you. The longer you hesitate, the more the old patterns harden, and the cycle repeats again and again. Science has already revealed the secret, the double slit. Experiment shows it clearly. Observation changes reality. Energy collapses into matter when you look, when you focus, which means that the story you're watching in your mind is the very script your life obeys. But here is the danger. Most people never change the movie. They replay the same fear, the same failure, the same doubts, until their entire future becomes nothing but a copy of their past. You have felt it. The pressure of missed chances, the weight of silent fears, the cold grip of believing you are not enough. And yet, you are here, listening, a breath away from shifting everything. Imagine standing at the edge of destiny. The question is not whether the power is real. The question is whether you will claim it in this very instant. Because if reality is waiting for your command, then what you choose to focus on right now will rewrite everything you thought was. UNCHANGEABLE. So let me ask you, what if the world you think is solid is nothing but a shifting field of infinite possibility? What if the rules you thought were unbreakable are bending this very moment in response to your focus? Can you feel the weight of that responsibility? Can you sense the urgency pulsing in every second? This is not theory. This is not wishful thinking. This is science colliding with your life. The double-slit experiment proves it. Matter waits for the observer. Waves collapse into reality when you look, which means that every thought, every image, every focus of attention is shaping the fabric of your world right now. But here lies the trap. You are not observing consciously. You are replaying old patterns, old fears, old doubts. And while you replay them, they replay you. Your life becomes yesterday on repeat. Your emotions become the same script running through your veins. And the future becomes nothing more than a copy of the past. How long will you let this continue? How long will you allow your story to be dictated by the same invisible loops? Can you see how precious this moment is? Not tomorrow, not later, now. This very breath is the turning point. Imagine an engineer at NASA, brilliant, skilled, yet trapped in failure, the weight of defeat crushing him. Until one day, reading about quantum physics, about the simple truth that observation shapes reality, he saw the lie he was living. He shifted his perspective. He looked at failure not as an ending, but as a frequency he could change. And in that moment, he created a new path, from despair to invention, from collapse to a thriving company, not because the world changed first, but because he changed the lens he used to see it. And now you, right here, right now, what lens are you holding? What movie are you watching in your mind? Because your focus is not neutral. It is power. It is creation. It is the code that writes the universe around you. So here is the question you cannot escape. If this breath is your choice point, if this instant holds the power to bend reality, then what will you choose to see? Will you choose fear again? Doubt again? The same tired script? Or will you dare to focus differently? This is not about doing more. It is about seeing with new eyes. The world is not fixed. The walls are not solid. Every moment is a frequency. Every thought is a tuning fork. The universe is waiting for your signal, Dot, so I ask you, if right now you knew that shifting your focus would shift your entire life, what would you choose to look at? What story would you dare to live? Dot, do not wait. Do not let this moment pass. Because with every heartbeat, the old reality tightens, gets grip. And with every breath, the chance to break free grows smaller. But the key is in your hand. The choice is yours. The power is already alive within you. If this instant holds the seed of a new reality, then what will you water with your attention? What will you breathe life into? Because make no mistake, reality is watching you, waiting for you. And the question remains, what will you choose to see first? And how will that choice rewrite the story you are living? You will know when you realize that every day you wake up and live exactly like the day before. Dot, think about it. How many mornings feel identical? How many routines play out with mechanical precision? The same alarm, the same rush, the same thoughts looping inside your head before your feet even touch the floor. Do you feel it? The eerie weight of repetition pressing down, silently erasing the possibility of change. Dot, what if I told you that 95% of what you do, what you feel, what you decide, is not chosen by you at all? It is programmed, controlled by the subconscious, an invisible script directing your every move while you believe you are free. Can you see the trap? Can you feel the urgency of waking up inside a dream you never questioned? Your thoughts trigger emotions. Your emotions fuel actions. Your actions create results. And those results confirm the very thoughts you began with. A perfect loop. A cycle that locks you in. A circle that feeds itself endlessly. No wonder your life feels like a carbon copy of yesterday. Because in truth, it is. Science has exposed the mechanism. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains it clearly. The brain is not static. It rewires itself according to what you repeat. Each habit is a vote. Each repeated thought strengthens neural pathways, carving grooves in the mind like rivers in stone. The longer you stay in the loop, the deeper it runs, the harder it becomes to escape. Until one day, you forget there was ever a door out. Do you see the danger? Do you sense the cost of another year spent in the same invisible prison? Because this is not just habit. This is destiny on autopilot. This is your future being stolen by the inertia of your past. Imagine this: a man in New York, a corporate employee, ambitious, intelligent, hungry for change. Yet for 10 long years, every week of his life was a mirror of the one before. Same commute, same desk, same conversations, same fatigue. Until one morning, staring at the mirror, he finally saw the truth. He wasn't living, he was replaying. That realization cut deep. It was painful, but it was also liberating. Because in that moment, he understood the cycle could be broken. He began with something small, a morning ritual, a change in how he greeted the day. Instead of drowning in yesterday's emotions, he carved a new path. Slowly his brain rewired. Slowly his emotions shifted. And slowly his life transformed. The same man who once lived 10 years in repeat became the architect of a new story. Now, let me turn to you. Can you feel the loop in your own life? Can you see the echoes of yesterday haunting your today? If your subconscious is steering 95% of your reality, what does that mean for tomorrow? Here is the hypnotic truth. Every habit you repeat is a ballot cast for the future. Every thought you indulge, every emotion you recycle, is a vote for the life you will live. Which means this very moment, right now, you are voting. The question is simple. Are you voting for the prison of the past or the birth of a new reality? Do not underestimate the stakes, because time is not waiting. Each repeated morning cements the loop, Each unnoticed choice strengthens the pattern. And soon the years blur into one long repetition you call a life dot. So I ask you, if you truly wish to escape, where will you begin? What habit will you challenge? What thought will you interrupt? What emotion will you refuse to recycle? Because the exit is here, the door is open, but only for the one willing to step through. You will know the trap when you feel the suffocation of sameness. You will know the loop when every day feels like yesterday's shadow. But you will also know the power the moment you choose differently. The moment you realize that each small act of awareness cracks the code. This is not philosophy. This is biology. Your brain changes with repetition. Your nervous system memorizes emotion. Your body becomes addicted to the familiar, even if it hurts. And unless you intervene, the cycle continues. So now the challenge is placed before you. From this moment on, every thought is a seed. Every action is a signature. Every repetition is a vote. If this breath is a ballot, what future will you choose to create? Because you are casting votes right now. And those votes will decide the story you wake up to tomorrow. So answer me. If you want to escape the invisible loop, where will you begin? And when the door opens in front of you, will you step through? Or will you keep repeating the same dream until it becomes your only reality? You begin by changing the frequency of your emotions before you do anything. At all. Have you ever wondered why two people can take the same action yet receive completely different results? Why one rises while the other collapses? Why one door opens while another slams shut? Could it be that the real key is not the action itself, but the energy behind it? What if every emotion you feel is a broadcast, a signal, a frequency radiating from you like a radio tower? What if the universe is not responding to what you do, but to what you are? Do you see the weight of that? Do you feel the urgency of it? Your thoughts alone are not enough. Your emotions alone are not enough. But when they align, when thought, belief, and feeling synchronize, that is coherence. That is the state where your inner world becomes a laser beam cutting through the noise of reality. And in that coherence, doors open, opportunities emerge, reality bends. Science confirms this. The HeartMath Institute has proven that when the heart and brain enter a state of alignment, your entire system transforms. Creativity expands, performance heightens, healing accelerates. Your biology itself shifts into harmony. This is not speculation. This is data. And it reveals that the future you are building is coded by the emotions you carry right now. Imagine a college basketball player, his career almost shattered by injury. The world told him recovery would take a season, maybe more. But he chose differently. Instead of drowning in fear, he turned inward. He practiced meditation. He tuned his inner state into coherence. Day by day, his body responded to the frequency of belief and calm. Against every odd, he returned to the court faster, stronger, sharper. And he did not just play again. He won. He lifted the trophy. Because his frequency wrote a new outcome. Now turn inward. Ask yourself, what are you broadcasting? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it the quiet vibration of not enough? Or is it the signal of strength, clarity, and trust? Because the truth is undeniable. What you feel right now is programming the reality you will walk into tomorrow. So I ask you, if this moment is transmitting your future, what are you sending? Can you see how critical this choice is? Can you sense the magnitude of each heartbeat, each emotion? Do not underestimate the cost of misalignment. When your thoughts say yes, but your feelings scream no, you fracture your signal. You confuse the field. You cancel your own creation. The universe cannot respond to static. It only responds to coherence. And this is where your true power begins. By aligning your thoughts with your emotions. by choosing to feel the future you want before it arrives, by broadcasting gratitude, trust, and certainty as if they are already yours. That frequency reshapes everything. The call is urgent, because every second you spend in fear is another vote for the reality you don't want. Every second in coherence is a command to the future you desire. Which will you choose? Which will you amplify? Look again at your life. The patterns, the struggles, the victories. All of them are echoes of your past broadcasts. You are living inside the signal you once sent. And now you stand at the threshold to send a new one. So breathe deeply. Feel the weight of this instant. This is not small. This is not optional. This is the axis on which your future turns. If the state you carry is the seed, then what are you planting right now? If the emotion you hold is the frequency, then what world are you calling into being? Remember this. You begin not by pushing harder, not by doing more, but by changing the frequency of your emotions before you act. Because the universe is not listening to your words. It is listening to your signal. And so the question remains, if your feelings are programming the reality ahead, what will you choose to feel in this moment? And if coherence is the bridge to the life you long for, will you step into it now, or wait until the loop of yesterday writes another tomorrow? Then the universe can only answer you with half results. Have you ever wondered why you push? Why you try? Why you work harder than ever? And yet the outcome feels weak, incomplete, unfinished. Why do opportunities slip through your fingers? Why does success appear only to vanish before it can take root? Could it be that the real reason is not the world outside you, but the conflict raging inside you? When your conscious mind says yes, but your subconscious whispers no, the signal is fractured. When your words shout abundance, but your hidden beliefs murmur lack, the field cannot obey. The universe responds not to what you say, but to what you truly believe. And here is the truth few dare to face. Your subconscious is stronger than your willpower. Every night, every day, without pause, it broadcasts a frequency louder than your conscious desire. At 11:50 every night, while you think you are resting, it is still sending signals. And those signals may contradict everything you prayed for, everything you worked for, everything you thought you wanted. Science has confirmed this betrayal. Harvard research reveals that your subconscious makes the majority of your choices before your conscious mind even has a chance to intervene. Decisions, reactions, impulses. They are not the free will you thought they were. They are the echo of deep programming, of old wounds, of beliefs you never chose, but have lived with as if they were truth. So tell me, how can you build a new reality with old beliefs? How can you call in a future of freedom while chained to the hidden story that says you are not worthy, not capable, not enough? Imagine this. A woman in San Francisco, bright, driven, ambitious. Twice she built businesses. Twice they crumbled into ashes. Not because she lacked strategy, not because she lacked skill, but because deep inside, beneath the surface, there lived a belief, a toxic sentence running her life. I do not deserve success. That hidden script sabotaged every deal, every decision, every opportunity. And until she confronted it, until she rewrote the belief, she was destined to repeat the cycle. But the moment she healed the root, the moment she dared to believe she was worthy, everything shifted. The same woman who had failed twice rose from the ruins to create a thriving company. Not because she suddenly worked harder, not because she suddenly became smarter, but because the inner war ended. The signal was pure. The universe finally answered with power, not fragments. Now look within. Can you feel the contradictions? Can you hear the quiet voice that undermines you? The one that says you are reaching too far, that you will never make it, that you are not enough. That voice is the true architect of your reality. And until you face it, until you change it, your results will always be half results. So I ask you, how much longer will you accept a fractured reality? How much longer will you live trapped in the tension between what you desire and what you secretly believe? The hypnotic truth is simple. You do not need to do more. You do not need to push harder. You only need to believe differently. Because your reality is not built by your effort. It is built by your frequency. And your frequency is determined by the harmony or conflict within you. Think about it. Every time you declare a new future, yet doubt it in your heart, you are splitting. You're powering two. Every time you set a goal but secretly expect to fail, you are creating a contradiction the universe cannot resolve. And the result is always the same. Half-answered dreams, half-built futures, half-lived lives. Do you feel the urgency of this? Do you see why inner alignment is not optional? It is survival. It is creation. It is the difference between a life of fragments and a life of fullness. So breathe and realize this. The battlefield is not out there. It is inside you. The enemy is not your circumstances. It is your belief. And the moment you change the belief, the war ends. You hold the key. Not in your effort, not in your struggle, but in your willingness to rewrite the story you tell yourself when no one is watching. Because the universe is listening. Always. Not to your words, not to your plans, but to your signal. And if your inner world is divided, the answer will always be divided. So hear this call. You do not need to do more. You do not need to be more. You only need to believe differently. Because what you believe is the command that shapes reality. And so I leave you with the question that can no longer be ignored. If your beliefs are programming the field around you, and if those beliefs have the power to rewrite your entire future, then how will you begin to believe differently, even when the evidence of the past tries to convince you otherwise? By observing as if it were already true, until the world has no choice but to follow you. What if reality is not the cause, but the effect? What if the evidence you are waiting for only appears after you decide to see it first? Can you feel the shock of that possibility? Can you sense the urgency? Because if it is true, then the power has never been outside you. It has always been inside. The universe is a mirror. It does not create for you. It reflects you. It shows back the picture you hold most firmly within, which means that the future you desire is not waiting in some distant place. It is waiting inside the image you dare to carry now. So ask yourself, what picture are you feeding your mind? What movie are you replaying? Because what you hold inside becomes the command to reality. Change the inner picture, and the outer must bend. This is not fantasy. This is science. Neuroplasticity proves it. When you imagine with detail, the brain does not know the difference between real and imagined. Neurons fire. Connections strengthen. New pathways form. Your body and mind prepare for an outcome before it even arrives. Which means that simply observing a new reality, as if it were already true, is training your entire system to live it. Imagine a man in Chicago. A terrible accident left him broken, unable to move as he once did. The world told him recovery would be slow, maybe impossible, but he refused to accept the old picture. Every day, in the silence of his mind, he imagined himself running a marathon. He felt the pavement under his feet. He heard the crowd cheering. He lived the victory in his heart before his body could match it. Weeks passed, then months. Slowly his brain rewired. His body responded. Against every prediction, he not only walked again, he ran, and he finished the marathon he had seen so many times in his mind. Do you see the secret? He did not wait for proof. He created proof by observing first, and the world had no choice but to follow. Now look at yourself. How often do you demand evidence before you believe? How often do you insist on proof before you allow hope? Can you see the trap? Because waiting for proof is surrendering your power. It is handing your future to the mirror and forgetting that you are the one holding the image dot. So here is the hypnotic truth. If you keep replaying the picture of fear, of failure, of lack, the mirror must obey. If you hold the picture of strength, of freedom, of victory, the mirror must obey. The universe does not choose. It reflects dot, and so the call is urgent. If every thought is a brushstroke, then what are you painting? If every emotion is a color, then what picture are you creating? Will you keep drawing yesterday until tomorrow looks the same? Or will you hold the vision of the life you truly want until the entire world bends to match a dot? Do not wait for the outside to shift. Do not beg reality to prove itself first, because the law is clear. Observe as if it is already here, and reality is forced to follow. Feel the weight of this. Right now, in this breath, your mind is broadcasting images. Those images are training your brain. They are programming your future. They are bending the mirror of the universe around you. The question is simple. What picture are you holding? Remember this story when doubt creeps in. A broken man who saw himself running. A broken life that rebuilt itself from the inside out. The body obeyed the picture. The world obeyed the frequency. And victory was born dot. So I ask you directly, if your inner movie is the script for your tomorrow, what will you choose to watch tonight? If your observation is the seed, what harvest are you planting in this very moment? You do not need to fight reality. You do not need to struggle harder. You only need to hold the picture long enough, strong enough, clear enough, and the mirror must reflect it back. If you hold the vision with faith, if you observe as if it is already true, then the world will bend. The evidence will appear. And the reality you thought was distant will step forward to meet you. So here, this. If you keep the picture in your mind long enough, the entire universe will be forced to draw in your favor. The only question that remains is this. When the old reality pulls at you, when life tries to drag you back into the past, will you keep holding the image of the future, or will you let the mirror win? You build a fence around your mind, allowing only what matches your new frequency to enter. Have you ever asked yourself why? After shifting your inner state, the outside world seems to drag you back. Why do you rise in clarity one moment, only to be pulled into chaos the next? Could it be that your mind is not failing, but your gates are wide open? Could it be that you are feeding the very reality you are trying to escape? Every thought is a seed. Every word you hear is a seed. Every piece of information you consume is a seed. And those seeds grow whether you want them to or not. The question is not whether you are planting. The question is, what are you planting? Science explains this with precision. The reticular activating system, a network in your brain, filters millions of signals every second. It decides what enters your awareness. And what is the basis of this filter? Your focus, your attention, your chosen frequency. Which means that what you look for, you will find. What you feed your mind, your brain will amplify. So let me ask you, if you constantly consume fear, how can you expect peace? If you surround yourself with doubt, how can you expect confidence? If you let the noise of the world flood your gates, how can you expect to hear the whisper of your higher self? This is why you must guard your mind. Select your environment. Choose your influences. Audit your reality daily. Ask yourself, is this thought aligned with my new frequency? Is this information nourishing my future? Is this relationship reinforcing the vision I hold? Because everything you allow in is shaping what you become. Imagine a soldier in Texas, returning from service, He carried the weight of shadows, news feeds drenched in fear, conversations dripping with bitterness. He lived in a loop of negativity, sinking deeper. By the day, until he made a decision, he drew a line. He stopped feeding the dark. He cut off toxic voices. He chose to read only uplifting stories. He sought out mentors who radiated inspiration. And slowly, his mind shifted. Slowly, his life transformed. From a man haunted by war to a man building a future of peace. Because he chose what seeds to plant. And now, it is your turn. Can you feel the urgency of protecting your frequency? Can you see the cost of letting every voice, every headline, every toxic influence crawl inside your mind? This is not entertainment. This is programming. This is the blueprint of your tomorrow. So here is the hypnotic truth. What you allow into your mind today is the harvest you will live tomorrow. Every song, every conversation, every image, they are not harmless. They are instructions. Instructions your subconscious will obey without question. You do not need to fight harder. You do not need to struggle more. You only need to guard the gates. You only need to build the fence. Let in only what amplifies your chosen frequency. Refuse what contradicts it. Because your future depends on it. Do not underestimate this. A single negative voice repeated daily can drown out your highest vision. A single toxic habit repeated weekly can anchor you to the past. And a single careless allowance can undo months of alignment. So ask yourself, who do you let speak into your life? What do you allow your eyes to consume? What do you allow your ears to hear? Because those choices are not small. They are destiny. Remember this. The soldier's life changed, not because the world changed first, but because he changed his gates. He decided what was worthy to enter, and the universe obeyed. And so I ask you directly, if the seeds you allow today will become the garden of your future, what are you planting? If your mind is the soil of creation, who are you letting sow into? This is your call to vigilance. Protect your mind. Audit your reality. Choose your influences. Because what you permit will grow, and the truth remains. You do not need to do more. You do not need to fight more. You only need to believe differently and guard fiercely. So hear this. What you allow into your mind is the seed of tomorrow. The only question is, when you wake up to the harvest, will it be the life you chose or the weeds you neglected to remove? You do not need to erase. You only need to plant new seeds strong enough to replace. Have you ever felt trapped by your past? As if every mistake, every pattern, every shadow is carved so deep inside you that escape feels impossible. What if the truth is far simpler? What if you do not need to fight the old at all? What if all you need is to grow something stronger, something brighter, until the old withers on its own? Your brain is not a stone. It is alive. It is plastic. It rewires with every repetition. This is not theory. This is science. Stanford research proves that creating a new habit can take anywhere from 18 days to 254 days, depending on its intensity. Which means that time is not your enemy. Time is your ally. Each day you repeat, the new grows stronger. Each day you nurture, the old loses power. So ask yourself, what new seed will you plant? What small emotional habit will you water daily until it becomes the tree of your future? Because here is the hypnotic truth. Emotions are habits. Gratitude is a habit. Confidence is a habit. Hope is a habit. And like any habit, they grow through practice, not by force, not by struggle, but by consistent repetition. Imagine a single mother in Florida. Her life was heavy with bills, with exhaustion, with dreams that felt unreachable. Yet she began with one practice. Each morning, before the chaos of the day, She wrote down 3 things she was grateful for. Just 3, day after day. Week after week, 6 months later, she had transformed. Her vision sharpened. Her courage grew. Opportunities appeared. And with steady steps, she opened the bakery she had dreamed of for years. Not because the past was erased, but because the new seeds of gratitude grew stronger than the old seeds of despair. And now you, standing here, listening, what seeds are you planting each morning? What emotions are you rehearsing? Because every repetition is programming your future. Every act of attention is voting for tomorrow. Do not underestimate the power of small beginnings. You do not need to leap. You need to plant. You do not need to erase. You need to replace. One habit at a time. One seed at a time. Until the new becomes stronger than the old. So breathe. Feel the urgency of this truth. You are not powerless. You are not chained to yesterday. You are a gardener. And your mind is the soil. Every positive feeling you nurture is a seed of tomorrow's reality. Every moment of gratitude is building a foundation. Every spark of joy is carving new pathways in your brain. And the more you repeat, the deeper they anchor, until they become natural, automatic, unstoppable. But the call is urgent. Because if you do not plant, weeds will grow. If you do not choose, old habits will choose for you. And if you do not replace, the past will repeat. So I ask you now, what seed will you plant today? What emotion will you rehearse until it becomes the language of your body? What thought will you feed until it becomes the landscape of your life? The truth is simple. You cannot erase the past, but you can overwrite it. You cannot delete the old, but you can grow something new so strong that the old no longer matters. So decide, will you rehearse fear or will you rehearse faith? Will you repeat despair or will you repeat gratitude? Will you replay the same tired emotions or will you plant the seeds of the life you truly desire? Remember this, every day counts. Every repetition counts. Every seed counts. And the harvest will not delay. Because each positive emotion you grow today will become the scene you live tomorrow. The only question that remains is this: how will you begin planting now so that the future blooming before you is the one you were born to live? By living as if you are already that person, until there is no need to pretend anymore. Have you ever wondered why so many people wait? They wait for success before acting successful. They wait for love before acting lovable. They wait for confidence before standing tall. And yet, life does not work that way. What if the secret is reversed? What if you must become first in order to receive later? This is the shift. The principle of be, do, have. You do not wait to have before you become. You become, and then you do, and then you have. When you embody the identity of your future self, the world responds to that signal. Reality bends to the vibration of who you are being. So I ask you, who are you being right now? Are your thoughts aligned with the person you claim you want to be? Are your actions aligned with the life you dream of living? Because if they are not, the universe cannot deliver what you are not embodying. This is not philosophy. This is psychology. Behavioral science shows us that repeated actions do not just express identity. They create it. Your brain rewires around what you consistently do. Your posture becomes your story. Your language becomes your identity. Your habits become your destiny. Imagine a student in California. He dreamed of building a tech company, but he was not yet an entrepreneur. No office, no funding, no team. What did he do? He began to live as the version of himself he wanted to become. He dressed like a founder. He spoke like a leader. He carried himself with the body language of someone who already belonged in the boardroom. 2 years later, the world caught up. He launched his startup. He raised millions in funding. He stepped fully into the identity he had been rehearsing every day. Do you see it now? He did not wait for success to arrive. He became success first. And success had no choice but to appear. So, the question returns to you. Who are you willing to be today? Will you keep waiting for proof? Or will you live as if the proof is already here? Because your body, your mind, your behavior are not neutral. They are programming reality right now. Feel the urgency. Every moment you hesitate, you are reinforcing the old self. Every moment you embody the new, you are pulling the future closer. Which will you choose? Do not underestimate the power of small signals. The way you walk, the way you breathe, the way you speak, they are not minor details. They are declarations. They are commands. They are the language of identity. And identity is the magnet of reality. So breathe into this truth. You do not wait to become. You become, and then you see. You do not wait to have. You embody, and then you receive. But you may ask, how do I know if I am on the right path? The answer is simple. Look at how you feel when you are being the new self. Does it bring coherence? Does it bring strength? Does it bring alignment? That is the compass. Your inner resonance will always tell you if you are embodying truth or illusion. And remember this, pretending is only the beginning. At first, it feels like play. At first, it feels unnatural. But every repetition makes it real. Every action writes the story deeper. Until one day, you wake up and realize you are no longer pretending. You are living. So let me ask you again. What identity will you choose to embody today? What posture will you hold? What words will you speak? What habits will you practice? Because every choice is building the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. The mirror of reality is watching. It does not respond to your wishes. It responds to your being. So live now as if you are already the person you dream of becoming. Walk as them. Speak as them. Choose as them. Until the line between acting and being disappears. And then the world will bend to your identity. Reality will match your frequency. And you will discover the secret you were waiting for all along. You do not wait to become. You become to be. Seen, because the universe will send small signs, and your heart will recognize them. Have you ever noticed how sometimes life seems to whisper to you? A chance meeting, a number repeating, an opportunity arriving at the exact moment you needed. Is it coincidence, or is it something more? What if the universe is not silent at all? What if it is speaking constantly, waiting for you to listen? These are not accidents. They are synchronicities, meaningful coincidences, moments when the outer world aligns perfectly with your inner state. And when they appear, your heart knows. You feel it. The tingling sense that you are in the right place, at the right time, moving in the right direction. This is not just mysticism. Carl Jung spoke of synchronicity as evidence of a deeper order. Psychology confirms it through the study of flow. That state where effort dissolves, where action and awareness merge, where time bends, and everything seems to fall into place. Science proves that in flow, your brain operates at its peak, your creativity expands, and opportunities multiply. I ask you, how often have you ignored these signals? How often have you dismissed them as random chance? Can you see now that they are not random? They are answers. They are confirmations. They are the universe aligning with your frequency. Imagine an artist in Seattle. For years, he silenced his passion, working jobs that drained him. But one day, he chose to commit fully to painting. And then the signs began. A stranger in a cafe offering gallery space. A friend mentioning a competition. the exact week his portfolio was ready. An online buyer stumbling upon his work by chance. Again and again, the synchronicities pulled him forward, as if the world itself was conspiring in his favor. And soon, his decision to trust his art became a career. Because he followed the signs, now reflect inward. Have you felt those whispers? The song that played at the exact moment you needed clarity. The book that fell into your hands when you asked for guidance. The person who appeared when you thought you were alone. These are not accidents. These are messages. And your heart always knows the difference. The hypnotic truth is this: when you align your inner world, the outer world cannot help but respond. When you choose a frequency, reality bends to confirm it, and the signs arrive. Gentle at first, then louder, then undeniable. But here is the urgency. If you ignore them, they fade. If you dismiss them, they vanish. The universe will not shout. Forever, it whispers. And only the attuned heart can hear . So ask yourself, are you listening? Are you awake to the signs? Or are you drowning in noise, blind to the very confirmations you asked for? Remember this: when you are in flow, life feels lighter. Doors open without force. Paths clear without struggle. The world itself becomes a co-creator with you. This is the signal that you are on the right path. This is how you know the universe is answering . So breathe, pay attention, watch closely, because the next sign may already be here. A word, a call, a chance so small you could miss it if you are distracted. But your heart will recognize it instantly. And here is the call to action. When the signs appear, trust them. Do not question them away. Do not demand proof. Act, step, move. Because synchronicities are the universe's way of saying, keep going . So imagine this. What would happen if you held this alignment long enough? If you trusted the signs long enough? If you lived in flow long enough? The answer is simple. The signs would grow stronger. The synchronicities would multiply. And life itself would carry you where you were meant to go. Because when you are aligned, the whole world whispers the same message. Keep going. Keep trusting. Keep becoming . So let me leave you with this. If the universe is speaking, if the signs are appearing, will you recognize them? Will you follow them? And if you hold this state long enough, will you allow life itself to prove that you are never walking alone ? Then one day, you will wake up in the life you once only dared to dream. And it will feel completely natural . Can you imagine that moment? The day when what used to feel distant, impossible, out of reach, becomes the air you breathe, the life you walk into without effort, the reality that no longer feels like manifestation, but like home. How does it happen? How do you cross from desire to destiny? The answer is frequency. When you hold the new signal long enough, reality has no choice but to solidify. When you live the new identity long enough, it stops being practice and becomes truth. This is not a game of wishing. This is the science of being. Research from UCLA shows that consistent meditation and mental reprogramming create long-term changes in brain structure and emotional patterns. In other words, your persistence shapes your biology. Your inner state becomes fixed. And when it does, your outer world cannot help but match . So I ask you, how long will you wait before you decide to hold the new frequency? How long before you stop trying and start being? Because once you commit, everything begins to shift. Slowly at first, then rapidly. Until one morning you wake up and realize you are no longer trying to manifest. You are simply living it. Picture this. A factory worker in Detroit. 7 years ago, he was exhausted, invisible, trapped in routine. But he began a practice, daily meditation, daily rewriting of thoughts, daily alignment with the version of himself he longed to become. Year after year, he held the frequency. Year after year, he refused to let the old identity pull him back. And then, something remarkable happened. He became the person he had practiced being. Today, he stands as a motivational speaker, inspiring thousands, living the life that once felt like a fantasy. Not because the world handed it to him, but because he created it from the inside out. And now you, standing here, listening. What if this moment is your signal? What if this is your turning point? Do you feel the pull inside your chest? Do you feel the whisper telling you this message is not random? Because it is not. Out of millions of videos, you chose this one. Out of infinite distractions, you are hearing these words now. That is not chance. That is alignment. That is the universe sending a sign, saying it is time. So here is your invitation. If this message resonates, let your voice be heard. Comment below and share the moment you felt the universe speak to you. Like this video if you want to amplify the frequency of transformation in your own life. Share it with someone who is ready to awaken so they too can hear the call. And subscribe so each day you can align with reminders that keep you walking this path. Because this is not about watching a video. This is about building a movement, a collective frequency of people who choose to create, to align, to rise. And when you engage, you are not just supporting this channel. You are sending a signal to the universe that you are ready, that you are committed, that you are stepping into the life you were born to live. So ask yourself, if this is the sign, will you respond? If the universe has placed you here, will you act? Feel the urgency. Feel the possibility. Feel the truth echoing in your heart. You are not here by accident. You are here because you are ready. And when you hold the frequency of your new self, day after day, the shift becomes permanent. The old reality dissolves. The new one solidifies. And one day, you will wake up and realize you are living the dream that once felt impossible. So hear the final call. If you are listening to these words, know this. Among millions of voices, you found this one. And that is no coincidence. This is your signal. This is your turning point. This is the universe whispering that it is time to see differently, to live differently, to be differently. So take the step. Comment, share, like, subscribe, not as a small gesture, but as a declaration. A declaration that you are ready to create, ready to align, ready to live the life you were meant for. And thank you for being here, because your presence is proof that the universe is alive, speaking, guiding, and leading you toward the life that will soon feel not like a dream, but like your natural reality.